All right, friends, how's it going today? So today we are going to be kind of looking at a blazor. Blazor's an interesting piece of tech, so we're gonna dive into it a bit deeper. What blazor is, so this is kind of like what I understand of what blazor is that it is more or less like a whole container of, like, say, your client side and your back end. But there's different models. I think we'll have to read through it because I don't really know what those models are, but I know there's like a WebAssembly one, and then I think there's like a Signal R type of service one. So we're gonna have to figure it out. Maybe they both use Signal R, I don't know. So what it's basically saying is that I can do pretty much all of my client side and server side logic in the same spot. And that's going to be really cool to see if that will actually work for my purposes. I can pretty much do everything in C# instead of having to do JavaScript. I mean, that'd be a big plus. What else do we have? I guess you can also do Docker and render UI in HTML, CSS. So more or less you can build a web app for the most part. Let's see. So basically you can create components. So I'm guessing it's similar to React. And each of them are just like a UI component or something. So very similar to React. That's kind of cool. They designed it in that way. So you can do like rendering, user events, nested, and share them. So that's cool. Let's see what those look like. So this is what a button would look like. So you kind of have some HTML, you have some code, then you just integrate that code inside. Not bad. So you also have this thing called page. I don't know what that is, like a route or something. I don't know. Yeah, so that'd be the index, I guess. And yeah, it basically just renders into it the DOM as well. So this is what I was thinking it was. Okay, so WebAssembly is a SPA, okay. WASM. And you can also call into JavaScript, so that's pretty cool. So basically, this is the self-contained thing, and that talks to the DOM. So how does it work? It's just like the .NET runtime, the .NET runtime just gets embedded into it. JavaScript interrupt. So this isn't a Signal R type thing. So a large app takes a relatively long time to download in the browser. That kind of sucks. So you can use a trimmer, just cuts out unused code. So basically you got to make these things as like stripped down as possible. Blazor server. So this is where you have a front end and a back end type idea. So you have a Signal R connection. So is that like, it's like a WebSocket or something? So you send the events back and forth. That might be a weird user experience. We'll have to try it out, see what it's like. A lot of code sharing, all that type of jazz. All right, so honestly, let's just get our hands, like, let's just start working on something. So let's do like a ASP.NET Core web app. I'm guessing there's a Blazor template. There they are. So Blazor server, let's do the WebAssembly one. That's fine. Let's just leave it as is. we'll kind of have to play around with it, see what it's like. All right. So we have pages, properties. What kind of dependencies does this thing take on? Just like a .NET Core. Yeah, set up a certificate. Hopefully that'll do it for me. Launch settings. So what does this do? So IIS Express. And then it gives me a specific app and some development ports. So pages are going to be the components, I guess. So like this might be a counter. I click on it and it increments the account. Fetch data. So I can inject a HTTP client. And then the code would be like, okay, I can grab the weather forecasts from some sample data thing. Does this thing have sample data? Yeah, so this one just like grabs a JSON file. So it's not actually doing a real call. So it's probably going to be a fast demo, but I wonder how fast it is when you actually get to it. So there's shared components here. Inherits layout component base. What is this thing? Oh, I just wanted to go to the declaration. So this is just part of it. Render fragment represents the segment of the UI content implemented as a delegate. So I'm guessing that a render fragment is part of a layout or something, and a component has different parts of it. We'll get into it a little bit later. So there's a main layout, like a nav menu or something like that, and I can say I want to collapse it or not. So that seems pretty cool. A survey prompt. So you can kind of like get a survey or something. What else do we have in here? So you have your www root, just all your static contents. You have this import. What is this actually importing? So this imports a few different. So this is, I guess, where I'd be importing all of my libraries potentially or something. Because I don't think I can do it on each different page. There's like an inject thing. So the inject thing, I guess, is coming from here. Okay. And this app is basically a router. So you're going to try to match the route as much as possible, I guess. And then if it doesn't match, then it'll throw an error. Okay. What about program? So basically you create a default, your root component is an app. So what does that do? Adds a component mapping. So app is the main component here. Okay. There's also like a scope here for the service. And it builds. All right, well, I know that we have to just try it out, see what it is. I understand all the code. It's just gotta see what this thing looks like, I guess, right? So I don't have a cert trust here. That kind of sucks. There's kind of like this loading thing. So it loads, and then I have all my different components once it's loaded. So it's kind of similar to Angular, I guess. So here's kind of that fetch data. Here's that counter. If I click it, okay. All right. So really not that much to it. I guess you can probably do some cool stuff with it. What else is there? I don't really want to build a to-do list or anything. I just want to kind of explore it. Like, we kind of looked at we already looked at this ourselves, so the blazor server, maybe we want to explore that too. So they have a separate thing where they kind of like the server side stuff, and you use like this fetch data concept to grab the data. All right, let's look into some of the routing and stuff. I mean, I don't really feel like there's too much to it until you get to it. So what I was going to look at is there's usually like these awesome lists. I don't know why this one's not working, but there's like awesome blazor list or something. And yeah, this is a big one. So these usually just have like tutorials and stuff like that. I just kind of want to see. It's like most blazor apps look like they have like this loading type thing. This is like my worst fear, is that if something loads for too long, it's gonna really ruin the user experience. Like that seemed like it took way too long. Okay. Let's look at some sample projects, I guess. So here is a, see, that one was really fast. So user 123. Wow, that's like really fast. Oh, did I like spell something wrong? If I log in with user 123 or admin 123. All right, I guess that don't work. So it's cool they have like an identity server 4 in here. Pretty cool. You get all these like organization thing. You get kind of like this responsive. That's kind of slick. I mean, it's not like perfect, kind of buggy, but it's better than nothing. So what all does this have? So if I go to the home page, the to-do list here. I mean, that's kind of cool. So what is Breeze? That's interesting. Drag and drop. I mean, it's cool, but I wanted to see the dashboard. Take notice of the disabled menu items. If you log in with that, you can view them. I've tried that though. User 123. Like that don't work. And admin 123. I bet you somebody changed the password or whatever as I logged in. It's not like that big of a deal. And they don't have like too many other things to show off, so I think it's cool. It's really cool. It'd be cool to make like an email app or something. They kind of have this like visualizer too. I mean, let's just look at the code, I guess. So this one was the Blazor boilerplate or whatever. So I can kick the tires. Demo for development branch. So they have like different tenants, I guess. So they have this like loading screen. Maybe this one might have a different login or something. Nah. So they also have this like Blazor with identity. I guess it's just a template. So cookie-based authentication with EF core identity. That one actually might be pretty cool to look at. Because I want to do some type of authentication app in the future. So, I mean, that's kind of cool. What else? Here's that same identity app. Authentication. I think I want to look at one of these. So like this one is kind of like identity server and an access token. So that might be cool to look at later. Seems like there's a lot of games that people built. Like Connect 4. A Flappy Bird version. It's kind of cool. So there's also like a lot of hybrid models too. There's Blazor Mobile. Kind of cool. So I kind of like Blazor, but the loading time on the one, like the WASM option, just kind of ruins it for me. Maybe let's just see if there's like another sample or something. Like here's one. Here's a to-do list. It looks like it is a very, very small F# project. How fast does this thing load? So it loaded pretty quick. What about another one? Here, what about this flight finder thing? So this one seems like a bigger. Do they have like these? No, they don't. It'd be cool if they had like a readme. They don't seem to have a readme. What about this car checker thing? Wonder if they have a link to it. Probably not. Maybe this thing. Yeah, I don't know. I just wonder how fast this thing would go, because this thing seems like a larger, but they also do like a client and a server. So it seems like they're not doing the WASM, or are they doing a WASM one? Yeah, they're doing a WebAssembly one. But it seems like they also have some type of like server side. So how does their client interact? So they have like a vehicle store, a data URL thing. Or how do their pages get vehicles, I guess? Local vehicle store or something like that. Vehicle and then this license plate number or whatever. I just want to see like a complicated or more complicated app, and I want to see how fast it goes. So Blazor file reader, let's see this one. That one was all right, pretty fast. So this one allows you to like read assemblies and stuff. Okay. A weather sample app. Let's try this one. This one seems like a larger sample app. That's probably like a dead link, I think. So how long is this thing? So once it's loaded though. But that first like, yeah. If I went to like a new, like, I guess I can't do that. If I said like New York. Yeah. Search service seems down or something. That's all right. What else examples are there? GTA vehicles, managed GTA vehicles. So let's see how fast this goes. That one seemed like it was almost instant. I don't know anything about Grand Theft Auto, so I guess you like click on things. You can see their stats or whatever. They have kind of like a login. All right. They have an eShop on containers. What is that? Do they have like it actually running somewhere? It's super complicated for like a spa app. So this is an official one or what? Seems like it's an official one. But that one said the unofficial. So like, was it merged in or what? Like the spa app looks like it was. So they still kind of have like a client and a server thing going on. The server seems to just kind of have the data or something. Just spit out some JSON. And the client has like, this client is in TypeScript. So, okay. All right. I guess that's not in Blazor. So that link must have been wrong. So So they also have like this workshop thing. What is this? So you can basically build a, you build this thing. So clone the repo. And they have like save points, I guess. Let's open up this recent thing. And let's just see like what it does. Like I think Blazor will be pretty cool. I just like, I want to use it. I just need to figure it out first, I guess. Oh, I've never seen this before. That's super interesting. I've never seen a MS Build Trust dialog before. All right. So we want to run the client. That's still loading. Or I guess the server. I don't even know. I want to see the client. I guess things just have to load. So any CPU, we have the client or the server. Let's just go for it. I'm guessing the server is, we might have to see like how they run it. Dive in and get started. So I don't think that's it. So this thing like crashed. Unhandled, failed to bind. So basically our other web app is holding it. See, like that's not like that bad. So it loads like decently fast. And that's kind of cool. It's pretty cool, like the little web app thing. I mean, the sample is super bare bones, but I just kind of like the feel of it. It feels a little bit reactive. I just wonder what the limits are. Like how much, this one just kind of seems to be, you have a server side thing going on. What is this? Why is there like those letters there? You kind of have these controllers. You have a seed data for all the, probably the toppings and stuff. So this thing kind of like any framework and stuff. What projects does it? So basically it references the client. So when you're running this server, it's doing it both. And also like, I guess, is there a way to tell if it's a WASM or if it's a server based one? I bet there's a setting somewhere. Startup maybe? This one maybe, WebAssembly debugging. I swear I saw it, like I saw it on the docs somewhere. It's either that or the app settings. No. Properties maybe. I don't know. I'd guess it'd be or program maybe. That's where I was thinking the other side. No, I don't think so. So if we went back to the docs here, how do I tell the difference of the hosting models? So I'm assuming it's this. So there is a WebAssembly script. So if I were to search for that in this project, right? If I find it, that means that it's a WebAssembly, right? So I assume that this one is a WebAssembly one. This other one seems to use this blazor server.js thing. So if I find that one, that'd be a server-side thing. So this one is the WebAssembly version of it, I guess. Okay, so basically how this project works is it refers to the client and a shared library. I'm guessing that the shared library refers to the other shared stuff, like the components and stuff. Yeah, components library. Okay. And then the components library, I think it's just by itself. So it's going to include like a map or something. I do have to say, like, I like how the components are kind of built. That's kind of cool. They're pretty straightforward. So the client side of things, for the most part, they just have all these different pages. Like, here's the index, show all the pizzas, how this kind of looks. So it kind of looks like React a little bit more, like now that I look at it. Can you put your code behind the file? I'd assume you can. Okay, that's kind of cool. So there's also this like JS class here. What is that thing? So that's the runtime. So you can just like call back and forth in the JavaScript layer. I also have like this shared layer of the displays and stuff like that. Yeah, I mean, not bad. Looks pretty cool. You can add different toppings, I guess. And they add like little, I guess, little thingies. Can't add them more than once, that type of stuff. What's it look like on a mobile width? Yeah, so this, I've seen some of them that look all right, but like this one, you can see like the buttons are starting to get cut off. But then again, I think there's a certain threshold for mobile, but it doesn't seem that reactive in comparison to others. Like, look at the top bar up here. I mean, this is just some sample anyway, but it's not like bad. It still feels kind of weird, like this whole scrolly bar thingy. Okay. So I was looking at this REPL thing too, just to see how fast you can create new components, but the components I don't think are like really the hard part. I mean, it seems really easy to build components like you did in like ASP.NET, Razor pages or whatever. I mean, I think the power really is just to be able to use C# here. Probably should turn it down a little bit. Yeah. I think it's cool. I'm just trying to like understand like why I wouldn't go like use React or something. Like I get the whole like C# thing, but I feel like you're really limited with how this is kind of set up. Then again, I don't know enough about it, but I guess you can do data binding. That's kind of cool. I think most things have data binding. So you do like this at bind thing. Does a hook into native app stuff differently than a React app would? Yeah, I mean, this one for the most part is going to be like a web app only. And it just runs straight in the browser. And you have like these different modes where like you can do a browser based one that has like basically a HTTP or a WebSocket that talks to your backend for the most part. But like React would be a little bit, I don't know. I think React would be a little bit closer to the WebAssembly side of things. It doesn't need like a runtime because it's already running directly in WebAssembly. Because like what they have to do is basically download the .NET runtime and then put it into kind of like this interop layer of WebAssembly. Yeah, download the .NET runtime and all the dependencies. If you're building an app and a website, then you get to share C#. Yeah, so that's like the big benefit is you can share all your C# code. There's nothing like specific to like if I had this where's the shared one? The shared one here, right? Like I can share every single class, every single file here can be shared with like if I built a mobile app or if I built a server service or something like that or whatever. I guess like you do get that power, which is like, you know, C# is super powerful and you can share it everywhere. I guess I'm just trying to understand why I would use Blazor versus I don't know, I guess more like traditional models of building websites. Especially if I was going to build like a web app. I don't quite understand the separation of server. Like this server, for example, it feels like it's just like a ASP.NET Core app. And like, I'm pretty sure it is because it has like this add MVC and also like basically the database context and all that stuff. But there is like where is it? Oh, this thing, the WebAssembly debugging. So it seems like this is just the back end, and then the Blazor, they're using Blazor just to kind of call into it. So I think it's cool. I just don't quite understand it all yet. I mean, these are like API controllers basically. You have this authorize thing to say, hey, like if you're not an identity user, you can't get to it. I guess like we'd have to build something to see how powerful this is. I think we can probably come up with something. I've had a lot of ideas around this area anyway. Yeah, so API authorized DB context. What is that? Identity 4? So I'm guessing that's like identity server 4 or something. No, just identity server. So persistent grants and stuff. Yeah, so I mean, you're still building basically the whole API, and then you're kind of just building the Blazor side to consume it really quick. I do like it though because it seems really simple. Like, look how much code is actually here for the front end. Like, there's really not that much. There's like 5 Razor files, and then a few different like here and there classes that are being used. And this is just to like reuse it. You can actually take most of this and put it into a shared library or something. So I do like that aspect. I guess like my question would be like, what would be the stack? Would it be building like, you build a backend like you always do. You build a Blazor for your front end, like your web app. You build like a Xamarin app for your mobile side. Yeah, I mean, it's a super rich ecosystem. They have like a pizza DB too. And then they also like have this components thing. So what's the map? Did we ever see the map, or do you have to like log in or whatever? Okay, so we have to probably register. So like pizza@gmail.com. Okay, I at least one uppercase. I've always hated the default registration. One non-alphanumeric. I guess I did that. Whatever. So it doesn't have a seam. It doesn't have this. That's fine. So we confirm the account. That's fine. So like pizza@gmail.com or whatever. So we should at least be in there. So now we should at least be able to like see the other functionality. So if I order this thing and I say order, deliver it to Joe, Joe's house, Joe's city, Joe's place, Joe 123, I don't know. So if I said place order, right? So that's where this map comes from. So I'm in London, I guess. So that's kind of cool. Like, they kind of do this like showing of, I don't know if it's just me, but if my driver went over the water, like, that's a quick driver. So that's cool. So the orders will just kind of, you can still track them, I guess. So it's cool that you can like do that. And I mean, all they do with that is they have this map without Razor page, and then basically they're calling into JavaScript to update each different marker or whatever. So the marker and all that stuff, they're all just, regular classes. I guess I would say like this whole thing. So they just add all these markers basically. And then that's kind of how they make that thing. So that's kind of cool. It's a really funny implementation, but it is what it is. All right. So like some shared things here, like an address editor. So this parameter thing, parameter attribute. Okay, pretty cool. So still need to make a back end for all of this stuff. Kind of get these notification things. So I think like Blazor would be really good for really high interactive apps. And that's kind of what I want to build next. So I want to build a couple of those things. I still have a lot of other projects, obviously, but like I kind of want to build some of the old ones that we had going in Blazor. I think that'd be cool. So more of a client side thing, maybe shared components or something. I want to get components that look pretty nice. I think, I'll be honest, the reason why I don't like Blazor is because like it looks really old. I feel like everything I'm seeing here is like something I saw in the 90s or even like the 2000s. I was looking at, I think they had a design library or something. Yeah, so Ant Design, that one has a lot of stars, or Material Design. Let's look at both of them. So Ant Design, it looks pretty nice, pretty minimalist. I kind of like that. You have like steps and all that stuff. Material Blazor, what does this have? See, I don't really like material design. Like on websites, I hate it. On mobile, I really like it. But let's see what this looks like. So those are just kind of like some checkboxes. What's the date picker look like? Oh, I actually do like the date picker. It's not bad. What else do they have? Like cards. It has to have good cards because it's material design. So I mean that looks good. Let's look at the other one. The big ones are date pickers, I think. Any input, they have to look really nice. Oh, that's not bad. That looks pretty nice. Pretty interactive too. Like a start to an end. Oh, hey, that's pretty cool. What else did I want to see? Let's look at like a wizard or like a form or something. I mean, data displays are cool. I want to look at cards. Here's card. So the cards are a little bit more to be desired. They kind of just are cards, I guess. It's not like terrible. It's better than most. Timeline. Is that what I want? No, I want like a wizard or something. Maybe a steps. Let's look for steps or something. I thought I saw one. Guess I didn't. Oh, here it is. Yeah, something like this. So if you can like walk people through, I mean, that's cool too. So they have like code you can see too. See, look at that. That's like super easy code to add too. Just a lot of HTML. Yeah, I like that. So maybe we'll try to start another project with this. Maybe this one. I don't know. Which one looks better? Do we like this material design? I think it's probably more mobile friendly. But what about this one? This one actually seems a bit more mobile friendly to me. I don't know. I've never actually used Ant Design before. I heard it's pretty popular nowadays. The world's second most popular UI. Hey, at least they're being honest, I guess. This thing doesn't even load though. Yeah, so we can probably build something with this. It has like nice little documented APIs too, so the type of steps, all that type of stuff. Yeah. So I guess the question would be like, what do we want to build in April? I mean, I'm not going to be able to work on much today, but gotta kind of like, I want to try to do like one small project per month. I think that's kind of what I'm going to go for. So I don't think I'll get that far on most of the projects, but if I shot for like one general small project every month, I could probably get a lot done. Cause like I did the score project in like 2 or 3 weeks or something like that. And that got pretty far. I mean, it still needs a lot of love, but I'm kind of thinking that like this one could be, I guess we have to kind of brainstorm some ideas. I mean, we had a lot of other ones from like, we've done a lot of like balsamic mock-ups before, didn't we? I'd have to look at some of these projects we've done. I mean, we did like the Life CLI thing. The reason why the Life CLI thing just isn't working is I need the Notion API to even do anything. But I know we built this. We're thinking about this thing, which is like the GitHub. I think this might be a really good blazor app. The only challenge I have here is getting OAuth to work with GitHub well. If I can find an example or something that does that, and I can get this incorporated, I bet we can build this. I bet we can build this pretty quickly, and then we can just have like a database, a local database or something that we hook in, and then it just kind of works with it all. So maybe we try something like that. Cause yeah, I would use this thing. Like I wish GitHub did this better, but they don't do it really that well. I just want to see GitHub issues that like I am really involved in, and I want to be able to say like, I don't care about this one, or remind me or whatever. So I would like to do it. I think GitHub had a notification API now. I think, yeah, there's an API here. So when retrieving, each payload has a reason. That's what I kind of want to do, is like, they have a key titled reason, and I want to grab all the notifications. So I guess we'd have to look at if the latest .NET SDK supports it. Mark notifications that read, because like that's what I want to do, is basically read them. Yeah. So what is it called? I think it's called OctoKit. I think it's the net version. Yeah. So when was it last updated? Here's the latest. Maybe the releases we'd look at. So in the last month, there's a few different things. Waiting for news, what is that? That was a long time ago. So can I do notifications? I don't think so. I I doubt it. So I still have to do an OAuth flow though. Does it support notifications? It might. I mean, it looks like it does. Clients, notification clients. Get all. So this was added, it looks like last October. Oh, March. So last year it seems to be maybe added. But I mean, this thing seems to have been there for a while. Okay. So get all for current, get all for current. Get all for repository. I don't care about that. I just want to get it all for like the user, which is all for current, I think. I also have a mark as read, so I can do that as well. So I should be able to do all this. Delete thread. Okay, so I can get a thread. I can do all this other stuff. So we should be able to do it. I guess you're gonna have to authenticate for sure. That's gonna be the tricky one, I think, but I want to basically list the repository, list all the notifications for the user. So that's repository notifications. So I thought we saw something like that. Get all for repository. So something like that. Hey, thanks for the follow. Yeah, that's pretty cool. I think it would be cool to do this thing. So if I say keep, I would basically say like, I guess the discard thing would say mark as read. The keep would just leave it as is. Not even, it would just look at it. You wouldn't even like, it would leave in the queue or something like that. Okay. And then I just want to see if I can probably easily replicate this. And then I want kind of like a settings page or something. I don't remember what we did with this like a while ago, but I think we wanted to do this kind of like flashcards where you basically say like, okay, I want to click this feedback button and I want to see this in the next week or 2 weeks or eventually or whatever. Okay. So we might be able to accomplish that. I think we can do that. This thing supports it. There is a notification API now, it looks like. I don't know how good it is, but I think it'd be pretty cool to try. And yeah, so I only want to show participating ones. That's the only ones I care about. I guess not, right? Like maybe you actually might be interested in an issue that you're not participating in. So probably all. So show modifications marked as read. Yeah. We'll just have to kind of play around with it once I can work on it. So I'll probably do that next stream. I think we're kind of getting close to the end of this stream today. I don't have too much time. Probably need to get to bed at a reasonable hour. Okay. So maybe we'll start with an idea like that. I don't know if GitHub notifications is the best thing to do. I had two app ideas. The first one was this one I'm showing right now, and then the other one was I wanted to build a way that you can like get new book recommendations and it would basically every week it would send you an email, or it would tell you to log in or whatever, and it'll show you 5 different books, and then you pick the books that you would keep, like from the 5 that you might be interested in, and then it just kind of uses that to tell you about them later, and that you might buy them or whatever. It's like that's like my biggest thing. Like there's so many books that I have and that I read, and then there's just a hard time of finding new ones. So I want to build something like that too, but it'd be a very similar UI to this thing, where it would just kind of have like 5 different books. You click them and select them, and then you might say like keep, like there might just be one button or something, or even like a discard, where it's kind of like a poker hand, I guess is the best way to put it. You would just kind of like get rid of the books you don't want, like if you clicked on them, or you can keep them, and then go to the next amount until you, I guess like that's a good idea. So I'm gonna write that down. So I want something that's like a kind of like a poker hand thing. And I have like a dead pen out of all pens. Oh well. Let's just like make something really quick. So the other one I'm thinking about is something like this. We do kind of like a box. We might have an image, and that image, for example, if I just like, can I just like download something really quick? So if I went to like Flickr and typed in book cover, right? So if like I just grabbed one of these, doesn't really matter how big they are, but I think most poker hands are 5. I want to do 5 because I think it's a decent number. But you get, it's like evenly space them. But you get these, and then you might have like a rectangle underneath each one. It's just like a card type layout or something. And then under each layout, you kind of just throw some text in it or something. And then, you know, that would be kind of like a description of the book. And then you might want some ratings from the, I don't want to just do stars. There's gotta be like a rating control or something. Rating stars? I guess not. So I guess we can do stars, but something like, we want a small version, or just like shows you like how many stars they are on like whatever website, like Goodreads or Amazon or whatever. And then the idea is that you have 2 buttons. So you have a big button where that button says keep, and the other button says discard, right? And then you could select them. So if I clicked on this one, I might switch the can I like switch the background to make it look like it's, I guess not. So maybe I do like a rectangle or something over this, and I might have a background of this like blue color, just kind of show it, and then something like that. So it like shows like I can select them. Maybe I did like 2 of those, or I wanted 2 of those, and then I can click on those, say select them, and then I can say keep them. It would then replace those 2 with new ones, or I can discard these 2, which would get rid of them and put new ones. Or I do it the poker way, where you pick your first hand or whatever, and you can choose what you want to discard. And then when you say hold, you say hold instead or something. And then when you hold, that's what you hold for the week. Like you're okay with them. But I guess the question is I don't think anyone's going to want all 5 recommendations. So that's the other part too. We'll think about it later. But that's kind of what I'm thinking for like the other app that I want to build is something very quick. Just ties into like the open library API or something. And I want it to recommend based on a quick prompt or something. So we're going to have to build that side of things too. But this should be a very small app for the most part. Like you basically enter in your preferences and then it calls an API and gets you all the related titles and just kind of circles through them and stuff. So yeah, something like that. So okay, it's been about, I don't know, like an hour and a little bit. So I'm gonna call it for a stream tonight. Gonna go hang out and eat my chips that I never got to eat on stream because I didn't want to be rude. So other than that, we'll probably stream, I want to say Monday and Wednesday of next week, but I'll try my best. It's just we'll see how far we get. So thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you all probably Monday, and if not, we'll